Hey there, today's video I'm just going to show you a simple stretch that you can do after some morning movement or any time of day. For me, I tend to get out the door first thing, try to get morning light in my eyes, walk or jog or do intervals for maybe 30 minutes. Then when I'm nice and warm, I take advantage of that opportunity to increase my flexibility and mobility. So before the jog, I might do some dynamic mobility, some leg swings, some squats, some lunges, some leg extensions, and then after the jog is when I do the static stretch. Static stretching is when you do a stretch and you hold it for longer, up to 30 to 60 seconds. So it might look something like, after a jog, coming to a runner's stretch, which is basically, I'll do the other side first so you can see better, basically like a low lunge. And if that's a little intense, you can bring that back knee down, or if it's not intense enough, you can walk down to your elbows. But notice then you're just staying and breathing instead of before the jog. I might get in this exact same position, but I might do little forward, backward movements and kind of prime the body for movement, for running. But after the run, movement over, now we're just holding and really feeling a nice stretch in the back of the leg. If we come down lower, that might intensify. If we bring the knee out, we might get a little stretch in the inner thigh and the outer glute. But really, with stretching, you don't want to overstretch, you don't want to force anything, and you also don't want to go to the point of feeling pain. Discomfort is okay, especially if you're not very flexible naturally. But pain should never be the goal with stretching. Also breathing into it. When you exhale, trying to go just a little deeper. And then usually, not always, but usually you want to match what you do on one side to the other. So then I'll take right foot back, left foot comes forward. I'm gonna feel it out. It might be a little different on the other side. For me, I have some hypermobility on the right side, but not on the left, so it's just a little harder on the left. Maybe you bring that knee down, maybe you walk down to one or both elbows, maybe that knee you push out a little bit, you feel that left glute, that left adductor, inner thigh, and you breathe into it. When you exhale, seeing if you can sink a little lower, that feels so good. All right, now if you're like me, you might have sensitive knees. I'm gonna pad up where my knee is by rolling my mat a little bit, and then I'm gonna work on my adductors. So we were just in this low kind of lunge position. Now I'm gonna rock back, and if my hamstrings are tight, I don't need to go full straight leg, because it might just be a little intense, and keep a little bend, as long as when I think chest to thigh, I feel a good stretch along the back of my leg, that is enough. Now, if I want to intensify this, I could take the right hand and reach towards the outer edge of the left foot. And then again, inhaling, when I exhale, maybe my chest comes 1 inch closer to my thigh. But only to the point, again, of maybe mild discomfort, not pain. Now again, before the jog, when I'm prepping for movement, I might do the same movement, but I might make it dynamic like this because I'm prepping for movement. Now at the end of the jog, I'm just holding and static stretch. And then I'll try the same on the other side. Right foot forward, left knee back. Sit back into that right hip. Again, doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I'll still get the stretch. As I exhale, bringing that chest towards that thigh. If I want to intensify things, left hand to the outer edge of the right foot. Couple more deep breaths. Don't stress too much about how long to hold a static stretch, 30 to 60 seconds, but what I tend to think of is 3 good deep breaths. There's so many benefits to the nervous system with linking breath to movement, so that's always a great idea. All right, and then we've got straddler stretch, we'll do one side first, so reaching towards the leg that's out. First, just keeping it pretty gentle. You could push down on the opposite knee if you want. And then we'll intensify. We'll flip the hand towards that foot, and the other arm will breathe up and over. So you should feel here a nice stretch along the side body. And then depending on your level of flexibility, you might also feel a lot of stretch down the leg. So each of those 3 breaths, when you inhale, you'll feel your torso come up a little. And when you exhale, see if you can get a little closer right hand to left foot. And then again, inhaling and exhaling, sink 1 inch lower. Last one on this side. If that right glute is coming up, try to keep it planted. Inhaling. Nice. And then we're going to turn towards this foot. So kind of readjust, maybe reset your glutes, and then walk those hands out, framing that foot. Again, 3 breaths here. If you can reach towards that foot and touch the heel, that's great. If not, just towards it is fine. It's also even okay to have a little bend in the knee. Just go to your level. If you're really flexible, you might take your right hand to the outside of your left foot, left hand back, and kind of get a little crossbody stretch. That can feel really nice in kind of the lower right back. And then let's kind of sweep our arms through the middle and transition to the other side. So for me, that's left leg in, right leg out. Doesn't really matter left and right, just do the other side. First, just kind of a gentle lean, maybe pushing away on the knee with the opposite leg. Couple breaths there, kind of getting your body ready for more. And then from there, let's bring that hand up and breathe the other arm up and over. 3 breaths here. Inhaling, torso rises. Exhaling, we sink 1 inch lower. And notice here, you can change the stretch a lot simply by changing where you're looking. So if you look down towards your leg, you'll feel more of a stretch in the low back. If you look up towards the sky, you'll get more of a neck stretch. So choose what feels good to you today. Might be different day to day, side to side. And then let's kind of come up and readjust. And then facing that leg, inhale, arms up. Exhale, walk the hands out. If you need to, bend the knee. If you can straighten, great. If you can walk the hands out towards the heel, grabbing the heel, awesome, but not required. Only go to that point of feeling a good stretch. 3 breaths. Think about breathing into your upper back and then exhale. See if that chest can come lower towards the leg. Again, linking that breath to the movement. If you're feeling good, taking that left hand towards the outer right foot, right hand back. Very nice. And then from there, let's just bring both heels together into a little cobbler's pose. You'll open your feet like a book here, and this honestly might be enough, just staying right here, and you might be more like this, that's okay. But if you would like a little challenge for yourself, you can lean forward, maybe even elbows rest on your thighs and push down very gently, not too hard. And again, 3 breaths there. And just tune in. Are you holding any tension in your shoulders or your neck that you can let go? Maybe you can rock your neck side to side. Get a little upper back stretch. And then from there, let's bring the knees together, the legs out in front. I'll go sideways just so you can see a little bit better. And let's inhale tall, so the body's like an L. And then exhale, keeping the legs straight. You might not reach too long at first, but then let's round the back, reach towards the legs. You might not be touching your feet like me, or you might be extra, like your hands can meet, or you might be way up here. It doesn't really matter. But do try to keep the knees straight this time, the legs straight. So I feel a big stretch down the back of my legs. I feel lower back, which feels great. I'm going to take my 3 breaths. Inhaling into that back. Exhaling, torso sinks towards legs. Inhaling again. Exhaling, I'm just going to imagine all the tension leaving my body. And last one, inhale. Reaching 1 inch further if it feels good. Exhale. And I'm going to put my hands by my hips and scoop my hips towards my heels. Grab the back of my thighs and slowly lower down, hugging the knees in. Really tight little ball here. Maybe even bringing the head up. Squeezing everything. Then letting the heels come down to the ground. We'll just do a little figure 4 stretch. So right heel comes out onto left knee, and then left foot comes up and grabbing behind that left thigh. You can pull that leg into your comfort, but I like to again link with the breath. So I inhale, back into the mat, and then when I exhale, I draw everything in 1 inch closer. This one I get a good stretch in the glute and kind of in the inner thigh adductor area, but it depends on you and your body where you'll feel it. After a few breaths on that side, let's switch it out. Left heel over on right knee, right foot lifts up, grabbing behind the right leg. We'll inhale, back, mat into the back, back into the mat, and then exhale. Draw that right leg in. Feel the stretch along the outer left glute. Tucking the chin. You might even lift the head to deepen the stretch. You'll get a little core too. Very nice. And then from there, let's just walk the feet out, coming into a Shavasana or a corpse pose. You can just close your eyes. And this is where I always encourage my clients and even myself to just take a little mindful moment before they wrap up the workout and get on with their day. And just think about how their body's feeling in this moment, hopefully a little more relaxed, a little looser. And then give themselves credit for showing up, because no one else is going to do that for you. And deep down, we all know what we should do to be healthy. We all know what we need to, thrive, whether it's nutrition or exercise. But it's really that ability to change our behavior enough that we stick to it, reaching arms overhead, feet in the opposite direction, inhale long. It's really that sustainable behavior change that tends to get people. And that tends to be what makes us fall off if we do. So really taking those mindful moments at the end of every effort that you take to acknowledge, it may not have been everything, but today I got up and I got out the door and I got some movement. I got some sun. I got some stretching, some breathing. And that was good for me. And I did that for myself. I showed up for myself. And if I keep stacking little efforts like that throughout my days, that will build into something. And I'm proud of myself for that. So it doesn't need to be a cheesy affirmation. It doesn't need to be a beast mode, go hard, no rest days. In fact, I wouldn't recommend that. But it should be something where you acknowledge, I showed up and I did something and it felt good. Because if you do that, what's going to happen is your mind will remember that and it will want to repeat feeling good. It's rewards-based learning. It's mindfulness at its core. It's how behavior change happens. So tune in, let it feel good, and let yourself want to repeat that feeling again tomorrow. Thanks for showing up today. Have a good one.